Okay, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the additional time to either revise what it was that we talked about in yesterday's mental session, or for taking the time to catch up if you missed the session. And if you are a parent, thank you for joining us. I think this is a very valuable session and a great way to kick off the semester. So in the session, we discussed the following. I asked the students in teams to design and draw their ideal core golfer. So the scenario was that ChatGPT has evolved to the point where you can ask it to build a human being. And we were designing the ideal core golfer. And we asked the students, okay, off you go. You have 10 minutes to design the ultimate core golfer. And we talked about what we would call the 5 areas of elite performance. So I asked a number of the students, as they were doing this task, we gave them a little bit of guidance. We told them that this player would have mental skills, physical skills, technical skills, performance skills, and finally, human skills. So at KOHR, whenever we look at a golfer, we look at these 5 areas. So that was the first piece of help that we gave students. So ultimately, for elite performance in golf and outside of golf, there's 5 areas: mental, technical, physical, performance, and human skills. So then students began to design their ideal player. So I can give a bit of an example here. One of the things that was said by a group was, strong like Rory. So the ideal core golfer is strong like Rory McIlroy. Another one, a very good one that was given, Nelly Korda's swing. That was from a different group, but they wanted their player to have the technical skills of Nelly Korda. Another great one that was given, clutch like Tiger. They wanted their player to be clutch like Tiger Woods. A really good one, a very, very good one that was given, happy like Ricky Fowler. Someone in the core team pointed out that Ricky Fowler, very nice person, always has time for the fans, always signing autographs. We then had suggestions for a mindset. And this one came from out of golf, like Jimmy Butler. And this kept evolving, and evolving. And it was a very, very good exercise to hear what some of the students valued. And I actually really enjoyed it because there wasn't as much talk about the golf swing as maybe I'd anticipated. It seems that students that have been at KOHR a while are beginning to understand that, yes, technique and how you move the golf club is important, but there's other building blocks that are required to evolve this. So the team that talked about, hey, We want our player to have Nelly Korda's golf swing. But if you're going to have Nelly Korda's golf swing, you probably should have the ability to engage in effective practice. And to engage in effective practice, you need to be able to sacrifice and have discipline. And this evolved and evolved and evolved. So I was very, very proud of the students. They did a great job. Some of the presentations were fantastic. And then once the students had presented and once the students had evolved their player, we had what we would call maybe like a debate. So the debate was to bring out critical thinking in the students. So what I created was this. So this is probably not going to go as well as I can do on a whiteboard. So what we did was we put our player into a house. And then we challenged the students. Okay, you've got all of these great qualities, mental qualities, like effective practice or clutch like Tiger. You've got physical properties, strong like Rory. You've got performance skills, human skills, technical skills like Nelly Korda has. And you've started to understand a little bit that, hey, if you're going to be strong like Rory, it doesn't start there, it finishes there. You need some sort of psychological habit to help that evolve. You need to sacrifice or you need to have discipline. If you're going to have Nelly Korda's golf swing, it revolves. There's a lot more than the golf swing. So what we started to discuss is how a house needs very, very strong foundations. And then we decided to organize the everything that we were producing, everything that we were thinking, everything that we were talking about. We decided to organize it in a way where, okay, what is the foundation? Ultimately, what provides the foundation for this player? So we did this. So Jimmy Butler's mindset, Nelly Korda's golf swing. Is the golf swing at the absolute foundation of what we're trying to do? Or is it maybe slightly higher up the house? And the students really started to organize and understand that a lot of the psychological properties that they were discussing, effective practice, mindset, they are at the base of what we're trying to do. They are the building blocks. They are the foundations for a good golfer. And often then being clutch in the moment or having a great golf swing, they're going to come a little bit higher up. So the golf swing and holing out in a tournament to win defeating your friends in practice, those things are a little bit higher up than the actual foundational skills that will lead you there. So we discussed that in the session. And then what I did was I shared something with the students, and we talked about the benefits of using an evidence-based approach. So when I studied sports psychology, the mentors I've had, the academia I've been through, it really pointed out that there are 9 fundamental building blocks that are required if you're going to be great. And what I did was I showed the students what these 9 fundamental building blocks were, and then I asked them to do the following. I asked them to write them down, and in their little notebook, I asked them to grade which one they thought they were the best at and which one they thought needed the most development over the coming weeks and year at KOHR. And if I share my screen again, hopefully now you should be able to see that picture. And these are the 9 scientifically proven, evidence-led 9 characteristics. They're known as psychological characteristics for developing excellence. So if you want to have an excellent golf swing, if you want to hole out under pressure, if you want to shoot low scores, if you want to be able to shape the golf ball, that's what we see. What the coaches, what you guys as parents, and what players see, the actual house, the shot shaping, the trophies, the holing putts, the golf swing, how your body looks, how your body moves. They're all awesome things. But actually, there's a lot going on underneath that. And the best way to help a child or any athlete, for that matter, develop those skills are the teaching them and enabling them to put the fundamental building blocks in place. There's 9 of them, and they're called psychological habits for development of excellence. And they're the following. So we can see here, we've got Yoda, self-awareness, planning and organizational skills, focus and distraction control, realistic performance evaluations, imagery, coping with pressure, goal setting, quality practice, and commitment. So they are the 9 psychological characteristics for development of excellence. And the KOHR program is very, very focused on these. And I think I said this to nearly every group that I coached. If you are a golfer that's currently shooting 67, 68 and playing well in tournaments, but you do not have some of these in place, or do not look like you can evolve some of these skills, I would have a very, very big concern about your future performances. If you are a 100 shooter, or if you've never ever played in a tournament, or maybe you've played in 1 tournament and it didn't go well, or you've played in 2 tournaments and you've struggled, but these 9 fundamental building blocks seem to be in place, or some of them are in place and it looks like the others are going to evolve, I am not concerned at all. So for every student at KOHR, we're not looking at the golf swing. We're not looking at your score. We're not looking at your shot shaping. We're not looking at you being clutch like Tiger just yet. We're looking at developing these fundamental building blocks, these 9 things that if they are in place, they are the foundation to you as a golfer, to you as a human, And if they're in place, the other things will follow. So I hope that message came across to all the students. The students, like I said, that were there, they filled in a journal. They wrote down these 9. They graded themselves on which one they thought they were best at and which one they need to evolve. And before next week's sessions, I will peer into everyone's journal and understand and review their work. And the goal is 12 weeks' time, when the mental conditioning program for the winter is over and I become more of a support coach outside, the goal is that these little orange team process notebooks are filled with great information, and the students will then put them in their golf bag and they can continue to take notes in there. Finally, as an academy on the whole, I have a report. So every parent this year will get a report on your child's psychological characteristics for development of excellence. I will assess each one of these with the coaches, and we will feed that back to you in a report format. I did it for around 45 students last year, just for my own personal exercise and to help evolve the program. And the conclusion that I drew: children scored very high on commitment, very high on commitment. I was very, very pleased when I added up the score for basically every student that I did this for. Commitment came out very high. The total for commitment came out very high. So congratulations to all the core students. You are very committed. Now, there's 8 more that we need to look at. And one that came out very low was realistic performance evaluations. So I explained to the students that this is something we're going to target this year as a team. As a team, yes, I will work individually and we will discuss what they've written in their books. But overall, as an academy, realistic performance evaluations is something that myself and the coaches, we really want to target. So for students that go to a tournament, it's mandatory to fill in a round review on the core portal. And if they do not do it and come to practice, they will sit out of practice until the round review is complete. And that's going to be for every tournament golfer at KOHR. When you go to a tournament, we want to create the psychological habit of helping you evolve your performance through creating good, realistic performance evaluations, not just assessing yourself on your score. We're going to help you assess yourself on a deeper level and help you understand what really matters, help you self-reflect, and that's going to be a big part of the program. Previously, we probably as coaches didn't do a good enough job holding students accountable for this, and the students definitely haven't done a good enough job learning to make this process a habit, or when doing it, reflecting and evaluating their performance on enough factors in enough detail, really just basing it around the score they shot. So congratulations to the students. Commitment is very high. As a team, we're going to target realistic performance evaluations this year. And for the parents on this call, that's where we would love your help. Please, rather than ask your child what score they shot, please ask them if they've completed a round review. Those round reviews will get emailed to us. We will see them, and they will make great talking points at practice. They will help us lay the foundations for a more effective practice, and we can start to take your child on a journey where they learn and evolve this psychological habit rather than beating themselves up for the score they shot and starting to build a pattern of negative self-talk and outcome focus. 2 things that, again, we want to reduce. So that was the session. I think a very useful one for the students, hopefully useful for parents. And like I said, before next week, I will dive into everyone's notebook. I will look at what they want to work on individually. We have clarity on what we want to work on as an academy. And I really hope we start to evolve and create a culture where we can have open discussions with students about these 9 building blocks, and they're as motivated and as driven to make these building blocks as great as they are their golf swing or their clutch putting. So that's it from me. I'm happy to stay online and field any questions. I'll just stop the recording. I see Coach Brandon is on here. I don't know if Coach Brandon has anything to add. If he does not, we are done. But I will stay online and answer any questions from parents or students right now.